heard. There's a big barn dance down the road a piece.
Big barn dance? Playing sakes alive, I'll run right home and put on my flea powder. I just love a shindig. So long, Clem. I'll be seeing you at the barn dance.
So long, Daisy. I gotta go tell the rest of the folks about the dance. Hello there, Grandpappy.
Howdy, son.
Hey, you gonna be at the big shindig tonight?
You dead burn tootin' I'll be there. Me and my jug both.
Quiet! Put away your shooting irons. There's a big barn dance down the road.
Barn dance? Let's go. Time's a-wasting.
Howdy, Miss Abernathy. How be you?
Hello there. Ain't seen you in a cool day.
Howdy do.
Howdy, Robert.
Well, bust my britches if it ain't old Zeke.
Hello, Clem. How be you?
Howdy doody, Mr. Murray.
Flormono was formal in a warm of shoes.
I want to go
Don't y'all just love a dog that smokes a pipe? One hot dog, please. Proud to do business with you.
I sure likes hot dogs. What does Mammy's little babies like?
Mammy's little baby's like shortening. Mammy's little baby's like shortening bread.
Did you bring your jug with you, Ezri?
Doggone, that's good stuff.
We like mountain music, good old mountain music, played by a real hillbilly band.
Keep me right with them, and let me sway right with them.
We think the melodies are grand. We hear Hawaiians play from the land of the wicky-wacky, but we must say
That they can't beat the tricky and the straw by cracky.
we like mountain music, good old mountain music, played by a real hillbilly band.
your darned old fiddles out of tune, I'd say. Ezra, it's the worst I've seen. Why don't you put a patch on your recording? Hiram, get your banjo fixed. Every time you play, you get your chords all mixed. Hey, Zeke, throw away that chew. You can't chew tobacco and your juice are too. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Come on now, boys, let's try once more. Come on, children, let's dance. Big dog, little dog, everybody dance. Take a leg while you got the chance. All you gents, pick your best girl. On your hind legs, start to whirl.
Love the bird dance.
I ain't had so much fun since Hector was a pup. Grab your partner, hold her snug. Get in the groove and cut a rug. Some dance fast, some dance slow. On your hind legs, raring to go.
I love that man.
Yippee! Yeehaw!
Grab that poodle and grab that hound. Waltz that lady dog round and round. I'm sure having a good time tonight. Lady dogs walk to get some wild. Circle round all the while. Shake those legs and shuffle those feet. A good fair dance is hard to beat.
I love to yodel, high up to the yeti and sing them love songs to my turtle dove. 'Cause when I yodel to that poodle, I almost blow my noodle. But I reckon that it's only puppy love. But let it hodl, let it hodl, let it hodl, let it hodl,
Ladies and gentlemen, here's a long-legged fellow who needs no introduction. But just to be polite, we'll introduce you to Mr. Stork, the most popular delivery boy in the world. He's always busy.
Ha! I've delivered 1,000,000 of them.
All right, folks, let's see what he's brought to Animal Land lately. Here's one of his latest deliveries. You know, babies all over the world have one thing in common. They're all so doggone cute. There's something about the little rascals that appeals to everyone. Of course, this little guy wasn't dressed like this when the stork brought him, and being a nudist by nature, he probably dislikes wearing that three-cornered sarong.
Yeah, and there's going to be some changes made around here.
It must have been raining cats and dogs, mostly cats, when this load was delivered. And it looks like Mama has her hands or paws full. As any mother can tell you, it's no easy job trying to keep an eye on a whole house full of playful young ones, especially when they're so frisky. It's all one can do to keep from getting trampled in the stampede. Yes, her life is no cinch having to watch over a bunch of little ruffians like these. But Mama doesn't seem to mind. Evidently, she likes having a large family.
It ain't what you like, brother. It's what you get.
Like all youngsters, Junior's main interest in life is food. And several times a day, he asks the $64 question, when do we eat? But he knows that as long as he's near Mama, he has nothing to worry about. So he sticks pretty close to his supply base. He can't lose. There isn't a chance in the world of the milkman forgetting to bring Junior his daily milk.
No, sir. I get mine direct from the factory.
Mothers are all alike, even if they happen to be skunks. And the old stork made Mama mighty happy when he left this brood of little stinkers on her doorstep. There's no mother on earth any prouder of her family than Mrs. Skunk, and she has a right to be proud of her babies. They're only 3 months old, but they act quite grown up.
I'll say, they're beginning to smell a little already.
Well, looks like the baby business has gone to the dogs lately. And with Frau Dachshund, business has been pretty good. For she's the proud parent of all these streamlined, underslung little rascals. Why, she's got enough puppies here to start a dog show of her own. Watching these young pooches play should remind Mama that she was a baby once herself. But I'll bet she never realized that someday she'd have a great big family of her own.
It just goes to show you what puppy love can get you into.
The old stork must have a great sense of humor, bringing such a funny-looking little character as this to anybody. But I guess you really can't blame baby Chimp for his lack of beauty. After all, it runs in the family. This little chimp's papa isn't exactly good-looking, and he's the spitting image of his old man. Yes, like father, like son.
I am just a chimp off the old block.
When the long-legged bird brought this baby camel, he really delivered a load of trouble. For this little glutton is eating Mama out of house and home. Like any growing youngster, this oversized baby has a healthy appetite and really goes to town when it's time to put on the old feed bag. Why, it's all his Mama can do to keep the supply equal to the demand. He really keeps the reservoir dry.
Yes, the little rascal drains my crankcase every day.
If the stork brought this little heavyweight, he must have made 2 trips. But Mrs. Hippo insists that having little Fatso was her own accomplishment, and she's right. She should be very proud of herself, having a real live baby all her own.
So what? It happens in the best of families.
Well, look who's here. That stork really gets around, doesn't he? He delivers the goods even in the darkest jungles, and it looks like he brought this mother a little bundle from heaven, or someplace. Kids will be kids, but nature certainly made a monkey out of this little guy. You never can tell, though. Baby Dumpling may grow up to be as attractive as his parents. But right now, he's got a face that only a mother could love. You know, I've often wondered what makes baby monkeys so doggone funny-looking.
Oh, they all look like humans when they're first born.
Mr. Stork is certainly no stranger around this hog farm. No, sir, he really brings home the bacon here. In fact, business is so good that he's opened up a branch office. Have you ever seen so many little pork chops walking around before? Why, there must be the makings of hundreds of pickled pig's feet around here. And these little porkers you see are just a few of the thousands that are raised on this mammoth farm every week. Yes, it's hard to believe, but according to the records, dozens of baby pigs are born here every hour.
Yep, there's a sucker born every minute.
In making his rounds, the stork travels far and wide, and he flies all the way to Australia to deliver little koala bears. Now, here's one baby who is in no hurry to learn to walk, for riding on Mother's back gives him first-class transportation. She has everything an automobile has, knee action, A sturdy chassis, soft upholstery, a streamlined body.
And she's got the cutest rumble feet you ever saw.
Here's one place where the baby business thrives without the aid of old Doc Stork. These independent hens prefer to work alone. Yes, Mama Hen can take full credit for these fuzzy chicks because she lays her own egg, sets on it a while, and finally hatches out a baby.
No other mother can make that statement.
Yes, chickens are excellent mothers and deserve more out of life than the dull existence they lead. All they do is just eat, sleep, and lay eggs. Day after day, it's the same old monotonous routine. Why, they're even in a conversational rut. Yep, all they ever say is chick, 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 all day. But once a chick got sick and tired of just chick, chick, so one morning she started to say,
Chicory, chick-a-lock, chick-a-la-romy, in a banana-ca-bollica-wallica, can't you see? Chicory, chick is me. Chicory, chick-a-lock, chick-a-la-romy, in a banana-ca-bollica-wallica, can't you see? Chicory, chick is me.
Every time you're sick and tired of just the same old thing,
Saying just the same old words all day.
be just like the chicken who found something new to sing.
Open up your mouth and start to say, oh, chicory, chick-a-lock, chick-a-la-romy, in a banana-ca-bollica-wallica, can't you see? Chicory, chick is me. Chicory, chick is me.
Chicory chick is me.
Chicory, chick is me.
some wise and learned scholar once remarked that a man's best friend is his dog. The popularity of these canines has grown by leaps and bounds until there are over 13 million dogs in this country today. Yes, it looks like America is fast becoming a nation of dog fanciers.
Yeah? The whole darn country is going to the dogs.
Oh, he's so right, folks. We are going to the dogs. I believe we all like pooches of one kind or another. So if you're in the market for a pet, why not attend the dog show where dogs of every kind are on parade, the Pooch Parade. It isn't going to be easy to pick a favorite, for there are 225 different breeds in America's canine population. And it looks like most of them are here today. So let's look them over. Now, for a fierce-looking dog, you can't beat this purebred English bulldog. And he's just as rough as he looks, too. Yes, sir, this guy is really a tough customer.
My name's O'Malley, and I can lick any dog in the house.
A dog doesn't necessarily have to be a pure breed to be a champion. Now, this little pooch is only part bull, yet he's a very high-priced pet. No, sir, being a mixed breed hasn't made this guy less valuable. He's worth $6,000, even though he's only part bull.
The part about the 6,000 is the bull.
The owners of these fine dogs are quite proud of their entrance, but no more so than the dogs are of themselves. A pooch like this Spitz is very proud of his pedigree and can trace his ancestors farther back than some people can. This fellow's father was a full-blooded Spitz. His grandfather was a pure Spitz, and even his great-grandfather was a Spitz.
Yep, the whole darn family spits.
A good dog, like gold, is where you find her. And there are many excellent pooches who've never been near a dog show. And kennels like these are full of potential prize winners, just waiting to be discovered. Now, here's a well-known dog that's never even entered a dog show, but has what it takes to win blue ribbons. The shaggy English sheepdog is very lovable and makes an ideal pet for children. But there's one thing about this woolly creature I could never understand, and that's just why he's called a sheepdog. Oh, well, I guess perhaps it's because he herds sheep.
Are you kidding? I couldn't even see a sheep.
I guess we all admire the strong, athletic dog, and where could you find a more perfect example than the streamlined whippet? Just look at that sleek physique. He has the build of a real athlete, the legs of an athlete, the chest of an athlete, the shoulders of an athlete.
Why, I even have athlete's foot.
A home is not a home without a dog. And if one dog is nice to have, then two must be even nicer. This petite little Pomeranian is a favorite in any household, a pet that's nice to have around. And the Bull Terrier makes an ideal pet, for he's always dependable. This trustworthy dog will not let you down. No, sir, he's always faithful.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw an elephant.
If you're looking for a pet that you can really trust, don't overlook the friendly St. Bernard. They don't call him a saint for nothing, for this reliable fella has the makings of a perfect pet. With a heart that's as big as his massive body, this genial giant is a wonderful companion for small children. Of course, he's also quite fond of grown-ups, too. In fact, he's extremely affectionate toward everyone he meets.
I love everybody, except my mother-in-law.
For a spectacular dog, we recommend the French Poodle. This long-haired Parisian is France's contribution to the canine world. Yes, with his daring French hairdo and polite French manner, he's truly 100% French.
That's right, boss. I even talk with a French accent.
Perhaps you'd like to own a unique dog like this Mexican hairless from south of the border. For some reason, nature neglected to give this tiny mutt any hair. Probably no other dog is as lacking in hirsute adornment as this guy. Why, this poor little nudist hardly has any fuzz.
Si, senor. I am bald-headed all over, no?
One of the most peculiar of all dogs is the odd-shaped dachshund. This sausage hound with the underslung chassis and low center of gravity has a tough time making both ends meet. The guy that said, "Get along, little doggy," must have had this pooch in mind. Say, what's wrong with your tail? What happened?
Well, I was going around a lamppost and didn't recognize myself. Yo.
For ages, the stately wolfhound has been sought after by those who prefer dogs of distinction. The handsome wolfhound was originally a native of Russia. But year after year, his popularity has steadily increased. Until today, you'll find these magnificent Russian hounds in practically every country on Earth.
Da, I got relatives in Minsk, Pinsk, Blintz, Veladadstock, and an uncle in Ohio.
If any of you gentlemen in the audience happen to know anything about coon hunting, you'll recognize these sad-faced hounds as genuine southern coon dogs. The coon hound would rather hunt than eat. Well, almost. Yes, he's the finest coon hunter below the Mason-Dixon line. A real southerner who hails from way down south, the deep south, sir.
I hate anything north. Give me that South Pole. Pole, that is.
If you appreciate an aristocratic dog, you'll like this Afghan hound, whose striking appearance makes her a first-class show dog. You can see that her stately posture indicates real pedigree. In fact, everything about her is pedigree.
Why, even my fleas are pedigreed. Really they are.
We've seen many kinds of dogs, but if you still can't decide what kind of pooch you prefer, then perhaps this little mongrel is the answer to your problem. After all, he combines the qualities of many dogs because he's a mixture of dozens of different breeds. For instance, this fugitive from the dog catcher is part Skye Terrier, part Bedlington, part Pointer, part Boxer, part Scotty, and part Bloodhound.
Yeah, everybody wants to get into the act.
At the end of World War II, our nation faced a momentous problem, the reconversion from war to peace. America's leaders met the challenge courageously and successfully prepared for the great transition. Today, we are a country at peace where every man, woman, and child can march on to a new and wonderful era. But what about our animal friends? Have we considered the problems they will face in the world undergoing the drastic changes of the post-war era? Like man, the animal marches on. What plans have been made for their future? What is in store for them in this new post-war age? For old Dobbin, it will mean unemployment. The faithful old workhorse will find himself out of work because in the coming era of scientific mechanized farming, he will be replaced by the efficient modern tractor, which can perform all the chores formerly done by old Dobbin. Pulling plows and rakes and seeders. In fact, they can do anything a horse can do.
Oh, yeah? Well, let's see a dad-burn tractor have a little horse.
Ah, that's 10 of them, Junior.
This will soon be replaced by this. With alarm clocks now on the market once again, we will no longer be awakened by the cockscrow. And with heavy hearts, we bid goodbye to this barnyard Casanova. Yes, the alarm clock is taking the rooster's place.
I can tell you right now, the hens ain't gonna like it.
With fur coats, especially beautiful fox fur jackets, becoming more popular than ever, the fox can look forward to a dismal future. Because in the post-war boom, everyone will have lots of money. It says here, money means new fur coats to most women, and so it will be the old skin game. The fox will be skinned and his pelt made into a new fur piece for milady.
That is just like a woman. They'll take the coat right off on a guy's back.
There will always be poultry on the American dinner table, and scenes like this will be quite common in the future. These ducks will find life in the post-war era very uncertain. Since synthetic foods can't compare in taste to real roast duck, thousands of these birds are being raised to supply the demand for more meat in America. This fine fat specimen is just about ready to... well, he won't be around much longer.
Yeah, I've already got 1 foot in the gravy.
There are other members of the poultry family who have 1 foot in the gravy. These birds will be the guest of honor at many dinner tables in the days ahead. A tasty goose will always be a favorite dish. And it is estimated that 6,753,648 people will eat roast goose this year.
And I hope that every darn one of them gets indigestion. Golly, I do.
Indigestion or not, millions of connoisseurs of fine food will continue to enjoy delicious turkey drumsticks. Of course, many prefer a wing, some like the breast, others like the neck.
And some people even like the part that goes over the fence last.
And the post-war era may see the end of the American bison or buffalo. Since the frontier days of '49, there has been a steady decline in the number of these shaggy beasts. In days to come, they will slowly vanish from the American scene. Yes, they are truly the vanishing America.
Look, fellas, I'm vanishing.
So long, pal, as we Americans say.
Adios. That's Spanish.
And we can also say goodbye to archaic scenes like this, because they will be replaced by this. Modeling the latest thing in milking devices is Miss Camellia Cow, who will be greatly benefited by post-war changes. Because with the aid of these new milkers, many milk production records will be set. This buxom bovine is attempting to set one right now. So let's wait and see if she makes it. For many of these new health-giving drugs and miracle medicines, we owe a vote of thanks to the little rabbits. And tomorrow, these daring little bunnies will be cited for bravery, for they willingly volunteer for dangerous laboratory experiments that create life-saving medicines, taking daring risks with absolute nonchalance.
Oh.
It's all in a day's work for them. Yes, these fearless fellows would gladly give their very lives for us.
Not me, brother. I got a wife and 10 million kids.
New housing projects will better the living conditions of man and animal alike. Slums will be eradicated. Scenes like this will not be common in the world of tomorrow. Pigs have always lived in muddy, unsanitary pens, but in the future, new housing projects for pigs will be erected and they will live in modern, fresh, air-conditioned pens like this, with clean, solid cement floors. Tomorrow's pigs will... Hey, what's this? What an odd-looking nose. Something has happened to his snout.
Yeah, I gotta quit rooting around on these hard cement floors.
Even cats' lives will be changed by post-war science. New mechanical mouse catchers will soon do all the cat's work, leaving Tom free to enjoy life as he sees fit.
That's me. I'm footloose and fancy-free.
Now, this feline philanderer can devote all his time to prowling alleys in search of romance, showing no favorites as he bestows his masculine charms on every pretty kitty he meets.
From now on, I'm gonna love him and leave him. Hubba, hubba.
Back to Camellia, and still a long way from setting a new record, but she doesn't look worried. She seems quite nonchalant. You'd think she'd be more concerned, but let's wait until she's finished. Some animals will make headlines. Yes, at last, the lowly skunks come into their own and will be recognized as heroes, for they contributed one of the most amazing developments in modern aviation. This little animal is responsible for one of the most important inventions of the century.
That's right. We're the guys that invented jet propulsion.
Another animal destined to gain popularity in the years ahead is the milk goat. Recent tests in the field of nutrition have found that goat's milk is a valuable source of minerals and vitamins. And so, if you've never tasted goat's milk, give it a trial.
I'm sure you like its tangy goodness.
Goat's milk, you will like it best. Good old nanny goat's milk puts hair upon your chest.
Hair on your chest.
Well, it's all over, folks. Did Camellia set a record? I'll say she did. Look at all that milk. And like a true champion, she remained confident and sure of herself all along, never doubting her ability to produce all that milk. She was so cool, so calm, so confident.
Oh, I knew all the time it was in the bag.
Howdy, folks. How'd you like to spend a day out in the country, visiting all the animals down on the farm, and see them at work and at play, living the good old country life? Well, there's nothing like an early start when you go visiting, so let's begin when the farm day begins, with the first cock's crow.
It's 5 o'clock. Barnyard watch time. Tick-tock.
For our first visit, let's call it the hen house, where the early birds are right on the job. A farm wouldn't be a farm without these industrious egg producers, and this busy little laying hen is proud of her importance, too. She's confident of her ability to produce the goods. Yes, sir, that's a job well done. A nice-looking egg. As long as she's around, you don't have to worry about the egg supply.
I'll say. And there's plenty more where that came from.
On most farms nowadays, the heavy chores, such as plowing and raking, are done by modern tractors. This leaves old Dobbin free to enjoy himself. No more long, hard hours of back-breaking labor for this old workhorse, no siree. From now on, he can live a life of ease, with nothing to do and all day to do it in. Pretty soft for this old hay burner, pretty soft. Incidentally, now that he doesn't have to work for a living, I wonder what he does all day.
Oh, I'll say I just horse around. That's a joke, son.
Another member of the horsey set here is the slow-thinking donkey. Here's one of the dumbest-looking animals on the farm, and he's just as dumb as he looks, too. In fact, this four-legged dimwit is so thick-headed that he's practically useless as a work animal because he doesn't learn very easily. Yep, there's nothing but solid bone between those long ears. I don't see how anyone could ever teach a jackass anything.
Well, for one thing, you gotta be smarter than the jackass.
One nice thing about rural living is that you get plenty of good homegrown food. And when it comes to food, there's nothing that pleases the palates of these rabbits like good, tasty carrots. Fresh carrots are chock full of vitamin A, and we all know that they'll improve your eyesight. And speaking of good vision, say these rabbits eat carrots all day long. I wonder if their eyes are good and strong.
They must be, Doc. I never saw a rabbit wearing glasses.
Evidently, carrots are quite beneficial because rabbits not only have good eyes, but large, healthy families as well. My goodness, just look at the size of this gang of bunnies. It looks like Mama Rabbit has more youngsters than she knows what to do with. Yes, sir, the old stork certainly smiled on Mrs. Rabbit.
Smiled? He laughed right in my face.
The familiar sight around the place is the old billy goat, and as usual, he's busy stuffing himself. But goats are easy to take care of because they aren't at all fussy about their food. This hard-headed animal with a cast-iron stomach can live on practically anything. For he's happy just rummaging around, nibbling at all kinds of junk. Why, he actually eats tin cans.
And if the price of food gets any higher, you'll all be eating tin cans.
Tin cans may be all right for goats, but calves like more nourishing food. You know, growing youngsters have to be fed, and every cow here is faced with the problem of feeding her hungry calf. But mothers are all alike, and they seem to enjoy the privilege and responsibility of having babies of their own to feed. What's this? Here's a cow all by herself. I wonder where her calf is. What's the matter, old gal? Don't you have a youngster?
Oh, for heaven's sake, no. I'm not even married.
Well, it's pretty obvious that this old sow is married. Just look at that litter of fat little porkers, each one trying to make a hog of himself. With their ravenous appetites, you can bet these little gluttons are never late when Mama yells, "Come and get it." But they're busy at their favorite pastime now, so let's not interrupt. A happily married couple enjoying the rural life is Mr. and Mrs. Hogg. Never be a meat shortage around here with all this ham and bacon walking around. No siree. This is Hiram, the male member of the family. A lot of good bacon here. And this is his better half, Hortense. Wow, isn't she the fattest thing? What a big, flabby, misshapen, ugly, sloppy old sow.
Sir, you are speaking of the woman I love.
Country life is a busy life. And down on the farm, this mother duck spends all her time watching over her brood of web-footed ducklings. And a fine-looking family she has, too. I think baby ducks are the cutest youngsters I've ever seen. What could be cuter than a tiny duckling? Isn't this cuddlesome rascal the most lovable little dear? He's such a teensy-weensy, itsy-bitsy, fuzzy-wuzzy little ducky-wuck...
Hey, shut up.
Life in the poultry yard is short but sweet for these birds because down on the farm, folks eat lots of roast turkey. So these feather-legged fowls are just about ready for the old axe. Oh, well, here today and gone tomorrow. Oh, what a life. This old gobbler is going to get it right in the neck, but good. No, he won't be around much longer.
Tain't funny, McGee. Tain't funny.
Well, what do you know? Eating again. Oh, well, pigs is pigs. That's all Mama can do to keep them from overindulging, for their favorite outdoor sport is gorging. Well, from the looks of things, they seem to be enjoying themselves, so let's leave them for now. Every farm has a watchdog, and Rover is the official watchdog around here. He's pretty doggone good, too, if you'll pardon the pun. Very few things happen around this place that Rover doesn't know about. This faithful fellow's always on the job, and nothing gets by his watchful eyes. Well, almost nothing. Right now, something seems to be bothering the poor pooch. I wonder what's eating him. Uh-oh, looks like some unwelcome guests have come to live with Rover.
Ha! I got 1,000,000 of them.
Grazing in the pasture is pleasant for these woolly sheep, for like birds of a feather, they flock together and enjoy the distinction of being very valuable animals. Yes, sheep are worth quite a lot, and they take pride in the fact that they're covered with coats of genuine 100% wool. But say, what's wrong? Why isn't this little guy over there with the other sheep?
I'm 50% cotton.
Before we leave the farm, let's say goodbye to Mama Pig and all her little gluttons. Gosh, don't they ever get enough? They must eat all the time. You know, feeding all these youngsters 8 or 10 times a day must be quite a strain on Mama. Frankly, I don't see how she can stand so many meals.
Oh, I don't mind the meals, but that eating between meals is driving me nuts.
Extra, extra, read all about it. The daily newspaper is everybody's reading habit. And naturally, Pop likes to read the sports page. While Mother, well, she prefers the fashion columns. And Junior just loves the funnies. But I'm sure we all like to keep up with the news of the world by reading the daily papers. Yes, everybody, even the low-browed little monk, likes to know what's going on these days. Of course, he doesn't give a hoot what the people are up to. He just likes to know what's doing in the animal world. And he's got plenty to read about, too, because animals everywhere are making headlines. Animals are in the news.
Ah, there's good news tonight.
Well, I see Monsieur Mink made the headlines today. In a recent poll, the sleek little mink was voted the most popular of the fur-bearing animals. And no wonder, for a good mink coat sells for $12,000. Of course, you can buy a real live mink for only $40. Say, there's quite a difference between $40 and $12,000. What a profit. I wonder who makes all that extra money.
Believe me, brother, us minks ain't getting any of it.
All news isn't good news, and making the front page by making the who's go is really doing it the hard way. These wayward mutts have every reason to believe that crime does not pay. Yes, life in this pooch pokey is really a dog's life, for it's no fun being on the inside looking out. What's this little guy doing in jail? Did he commit some terrible crime?
No, they got me for parking too close to a fire plug.
Well, I see by the papers that Barney Buzzard and wife have arrived at the zoo. Won't add much to the looks of the place, for Mr. Buzzard here is certainly no beauty. And his wife, wow, she looks like something out of a horror picture. How repulsive can you get?
And drop dead!
Gad, I wish I'd said that.
Royalty is always good copy, always news. And among the notable newcomers to the zoo is His Royal Highness King Leo the Lion-Hearted. Traditionally considered the king of beasts and master of the animal world, it's quite surprising to find this powerful brute locked up in the city zoo like a common prisoner. What a letdown for a king. But how on earth was this vicious man-killer ever captured? How did anyone ever manage to catch such a ferocious lion?
Oh, they just put a little salt on my tail, and here I am.
A nose for news is one thing, but here's a guy whose nose is news. Yes, the arrival of the spectacular toucan with a unique beak is good for a write-up in any paper. This queer bird is always an attraction, always a sight worth seeing. But speaking of noses, this old bird doesn't have any monopoly on big snouts. No, the proboscis on this gentleman is quite a show in itself.
Ah, what a schnozzola! My job's in jeopardy.
Here's an interesting item in the gossip column. After years of faithful service, the old red rooster is quitting business. No longer will this cock of the walk get up before daybreak to sound reveille for the other farm animals. From now on, he's going to take it easy. No more work for him. I wonder what he'll do now that he's retired. Well, he'll probably want to settle down on some quiet little spot way out in the country.
Yep, I want a little place of my own with a couple of 100 chickens.
Flash, Hollywood exclusive. It isn't true that Hollywood is going to the dogs, but all the smart dogs are going Hollywood. And this pooch hit the jackpot. Just sign on the dotted line, please. Thank you. Who's this little character, a witness? Ah, yes, a new star is born, and at 1,000 smackers per week, minus dog tax. Congratulations. Glad to have you with us. Hey, why is this little mutt getting half the money? Is he a friend?
Friend, heck. I'm his agent.
Here's another scoop, a big fat scoop. A blessed event is front page news anywhere, and when the baby is an oversized bundle from heaven weighing 200 pounds, that's really big news. I'll bet Mama Hippo is proud. But here's the real hero of this story, the scrawny, spindly-legged stork who delivered that big, fat, blubbery 200 pounds of hippo. I wonder how he feels about it.
Oh, my aching back.
It took this slowpoke a long time to make the headlines, but today he's celebrating his 100th birthday. Old Methuselah has reached the century mark, and he's guest of honor at a big party, cake and all. Well, it looks like someone's already here to help him celebrate. Probably a girlfriend.
Hello, big boy.
Gosh, what I wouldn't give to be 90 again.
Wanted, dead or alive. Today's papers are carrying the full story of the marauding coyote's activities. A large reward is being offered for the capture of this fugitive from justice. And if you ask me, it's about time. For this ornery, detestable varmint is guilty of 1,000 crimes, from stealing eggs to killing chickens. This cowardly coyote is a cheap, low-down, pilfering, common criminal. A vile, no-good, contemptible thief.
Well, gee whiz. Nobody's perfect.
Hunting season opens with a bang, and the woods are full of sharp-shooting rabbit hunters. For the man with a gun, this may be fun, but for poor little Bunny, it's not very funny. He's on the wrong end of the gun. No, sir, it's no laughing matter for the harassed hare. His rabbit's foot better be lucky, for he's really in a tough spot.
I've not long for this world.
Here's market news that's both good and bad. Good if you happen to have eggs to sell, but if you buy your own, oh, brother. With eggs worth their weight in gold, the hen house is on a 48-hour week with no layoffs. Yes, the demand for fresh hen fruit keeps these omelet producers straining every muscle. Uh-oh, what's all the excitement? What happened? What's going on? Jumpin' Jupiter, a square egg.
Well, don't just stand there. Call Ripley.
As Will Rogers used to say, all we know is what we read in the papers. So I wonder what little Jocko here thinks about his animal pals now.
Animals is the craziest people.